So, I told my friend my next video wasn't going to be a how not to brony, but here we are. Latest update, here is a list of about 80 to 90 names. These are a collective set of roleplay names and or accounts from ToonKritic and Issac Collar. And here is a screenshot of the Looney Turtle trying to debunk one of these names, failing and then coming back with, well, I really don't care. It's good to see that you decided to insert yourself in a very delicate matter, Looney. This isn't supposed to be a big gotcha. If you're willing to just say, okay, I made a mistake and I'd like to really see the best thing happen here. But your answer after getting involved in something as delicate as this is, I don't care. You never cease to underwhelmed, you edgy 16-year-old. Go back to your bowl of autism and shut the fuck up. And in case anybody missed it, Issac Collar, ToonKritic's boyfriend, is in fact still providing Zach Keys with the means to re-enter fandoms. So real quick, here is ToonKritic. So update time. Yesterday, FallenWish brought it to our attention. These 3 pictures were in fact not made by Issac Collar. Now put a pin in that, this gets juicier. Via Twitter, we, and by we I mean I, LioConvoy, Hateful and Fabula, tried to get FallenWish into the call. After I followed FallenWish's original no buttons rule in the stream, and then the big scary LioConvoy left the call, she informed us that she was sick. I forget whether she was at work or mother's house or both. Point is, the name of that call is called The Binding of Issac. Why FallenWish did not join the call, Joey motherfucking Turner came forward to tell us first on Twitter that he knew the pictures weren't Isaac's. That is, when this first leaked. Now, our bitching aside that he waited to spring this on us, he was nice enough to come onto the stream and assert all 3 of these pictures weren't drawn by Issac. He kind of broke down the signatures in the pictures. And why Toon has used these pictures to talk to people, we want to make it clear that Issac Collar isn't responsible for these 3 pictures. Congratulations, Fallen. It would appear you've won, and Issac is out of the doghouse. Or at least you might have won. Here is Issac Collar. He made this Sonic avatar in July 17th, 2018, about a half year, give or take a month from when Toon got busted pursuing kids. Here is ToonKritic using said avatar. This information was provided to us by Fabula and her friend Rouge, and that information was forwarded to me from Buttons. Fallen, you remember Buttons. Buttons sure remembers you. Also, Fallen, you said if any of us had attempted to directly contact Issac Collar, despite the video that I gave Collar a year to get back to us in the nicest possible language, again about a year ago, and then I took the time to ask people who were in touch with Issac. The other day, Buttons tried to contact Mr. Collar, that being Issac, and they were immediately blocked. But barring all that, here is a message from LioConvoy on the matter. I was gonna say,
yeah, I'm still here.
I know you tried to sum up your original issues that you say Issac.
Issue.
Yeah?
There's one thing, if somebody pays you and you don't know what's going on, and you make art for
yeah.
It's another thing altogether. Number 1, pedophile cheats on you with the kid, and then you defend them. You want it to go away. And then you send, how do I put this? The biggest loser in the brony community to defend you because you're too much of a coward to defend yourself. At what point did you think this was a good idea? If you want to defend yourself, son, show your teeth, bare your chest, show up children, lying children, to do your job for you.
So to the Looney Turtle and FallenWish, aka Mahari Dragon, it would appear all your efforts were for no good reason. Again, for anyone who didn't have the time for the ToonKritic stream, that happened Sunday, 10th of March. We talked to ToonKritic's current inner circle, at least via text, because Silver, whatever his face is called, refused to come to the call. Whenever we cited law, he tried to argue about moral standing, and whenever we addressed that, he tried to waffle back to legalese. But let's get to the real question. Is any of this necessary? I have so many places to begin here. This is Amythesit Flow. I don't have the full original tweet, but here's originally what A-Flow was yelling at Bliss. What if ToonKritic got over it? Katie Peterson, dude, this isn't cool. He put his friends through hell. It was worse for the victims. I'm sorry, but this is something that can't be forgiven. Even if he felt sorry for it, I'm sorry. Maybe it's my big heart. I think that's a medical condition, but I don't see why he can't right his wrongs. Sure, he may have hurt you all emotionally, but there's a chance he can redeem himself at least. That's how true friends and family is, the way I understand it. Amythesit Flow. If ToonKritic learned to walk on the straight and narrow, I would gleefully trip him. I have no interest in seeing ToonKritic get back into good standing. I hate the motherfucker. And from what I've heard, he's doing a fine job on himself. But hey, you can always forgive me. Dear Amethyst, you're free to forgive who you see fit. The moment you make your opinions public, sadly, you have to face criticism from other people. If you feel that family and friends have to forgive ToonKritic, that's you. Now, normally, I do think family has to give other family members more slack. Just from what I've seen, that seems consistent with most people and cultures. More slack doesn't mean infinite slack, though. Friends have the option to opt out at will, being friends. Which, by the way, ToonKritic, as far as friends go, I've never seen Toon give any level of forgiveness to any of the people when he was riding high on the hog. If Toon grants forgiveness privileges to his family, I'd be seriously fucking shocked. If Toon would have still been on top of the world, I assure you, he would find you as quaint at best and cringy and insufferable at worst. If ToonKritic talked to you today, it would be because he had to settle for a lower tier of company and or friend, and I have proof. This is a picture of ToonKritic's old crew. Love or hate them, they are people certainly capable of carrying a conversation and being interesting. Wonderful people to shoot the bull with, if nothing else. This is Solar Ray. Solar Ray came into stream from the ToonKritic Inner Circle cast. He came in at 2 hours and 30 minutes and brought absolutely nothing to the stream. Just like this call here.
Good evening, Zach. I'm here again, sending you this audio recording. No, remember, I'm one of those people who, watched you because of the streams on Twitch a majority of the time. I did see you on YouTube, and I loved what you were doing on YouTube. You know, you're fantastic. The thing is, the most direct way of contacting you at the time was wait for you to go live on Twitch and then be in the chat like, oh hey Toon, you wanna let me in? I'll donate as much money as you want me to. You know, do you want me to come in? I don't know if I was ever one of those people. I swear to God, I bet I was. I bet I was one of those people who was just like, Toon, you suck, you're terrible. I probably, and I apologize for that. I also feel that maybe I was at times, not only that, but I was also one of those people who was like, you know what, if you don't want to play this right now, then you do what you want to do, you take a break, you know, we'll wait for you, because I don't feel like I had much say in what you played, I'll be honest. You know, I just thought, okay, wait for Toon to start playing. Kinda hope that he'll play X.
He is a bland, dull, dry, flavorless church wafer. Toon hasn't acquired a taste for people like this. He had to learn to lower his expectations, and now sadly, now that Solar Ray has learned that Toon didn't have any use for him, Solar Ray stepped up, and his information, if you can call it that, is year-old bullcrap that was discovered months ago. I'd like to point out that people learning that Solar Ray talked to ToonKritic might think this will ruin Solar Ray's social standing. You can't ruin what's not there. Why the basement might have a cellar, you can only go down so far before you hit bedrock. It warms my heart to know a social animal like ToonKritic has to crawl way down on his belly to settle for people like Solar Ray here. But Amethyst, if you're such a sucker and a jerk, why don't you forgive me for this so later on I can do it to you again? Maybe you'll learn your way doesn't work. Will you forgive me, Jaw Scorcher and Lightning Bliss? I understand if you don't. By the way, Amethyst, I know at least one of those don't. I'm not going to say which one. I want to apologize. I feel horrible considering all that I've lost. Oh, there's more to lose. I don't want to lose you guys too as idols. Yeah, at least half. I'm trying to be loving and peaceful, but it's hard to say the least. I understand, but please give me and my friends peace. Thank you. Again, sorry for bothering you guys. God, I'm so jealous of you guys. You have so many wonderful friends that you see at almost every convention. Well, you do have a lot to be jealous of. They don't have to put up with ToonKritic. Apparently you seem to want to. I wish I had that again. Sorry for this mishap. I'll stop bothering you guys. Yeah, I think it got blocked. With all due respect, you clearly don't read my responses. Here it is again. For the record, you're doing the opposite of apologizing. You're making me uncomfortable. Please stop. Okay, I'm done. Yeah, Amythesit Flow. I don't think you are learning here at all. Now, if I understand this, the line, I'm still attached to him. Now, just because you're thirsty and you want Toon Amethyst, well, there's no accounting for taste. Scorcher, what's this about millions? Are you the legendary super soldier? Amythesit Flow, you guys can go ahead and suggest whether you think about me, but even though he did those acts, he should be able to have a second chance. I mean, we look at people like Scorcher and yet he killed millions in the military. You guys talk about how pedophilia is so bad, yet we celebrate soldiers who are told to kill people, and I bet they didn't even know any information other than, hey, it's another country that wants war. But getting off topic here, learn to become a better human being, not life. So Amethyst, here goes. Everything that lives dies. No exception. Oh, by the way, and if anybody starts talking about starfish, you're missing the point. Death is a natural part of life. Horrific as it may be, war, death, if you wish to call it murder, has been a part of virtually every culture that has ever been, or ever will be. That's just how it is. Having a military is, as unfortunate as it might arguably be, historically is necessary. Pedophilia, if I may be so bold, less so. I'm sure throughout the years, the millennia, I'm sure it's been a part of cultures, and I would wager those are in the minority that accepted that sort of thing. And even if that sort of thing were in the majority of cultures throughout the years, my nation, that being the United States, has a healthy interest in keeping that defect from becoming accepted. Should you be from that defection, and I'd like to speak for all of my fans if they would allow me, do not wish to associate with you. Notice I said if. My father has fought for the US military. If I'm morally ass backwards for putting that over someone who pursues children, I'm fine with you thinking less of me. And I would encourage everyone else to dismiss you out of hand. She kept doing this. I know it was more than just bliss. Not only do I encourage people to not forgive Toon, I encourage people not to forgive Amythesit Flow. No one wants to know how much of a super awesome human being you are, that you think that you are because you can forgive a pedophile. Well, that's not true. I think my fans want to know because what a terrible person that makes you. I wish nothing but the worst for you. And if God forbid someone causes your friend or family suffering, I hope you have some cringy outsider screech at you about forgiveness. Thank you. Fuck you. Bye. So recently I had an ex-brony turned furry get buck with me. His name is Shinzo. Shinzo the Husky. Technically, this should be on Furry Wonderland. By the by, if you're eating, you might want to put that sloppy Joe down, gamer. This is Shadowplay. I've briefly had an alright discussion with Shadowplay back when he was leaving one of the groups he used to be associated with. Recently, Shadowplay, or Shinzo, opted to insert himself into a discussion that had nothing to do with him. And you know, the thing is, I've noticed when furries talk shit on Twitter, there's at least a pretty good chance that there's a fur affinity out there that can lead to some interesting facts. Dear Shinzo, don't talk shit, don't get hit. As you can see, this comment says, thanks for the watch. That avatar there, that's with a diaper. Now typically I don't kink shame. But fuck it, Shinzo. You want to act like a dipshit? Here we go. I mean, it's not like I didn't find anything that wasn't out in the open. But we're not done yet. But yeah, just in case there's any misunderstanding, here is his furry account linking back to his Brony one. Are there any Cub Discord servers, Shinzo? You sure are confusing, but we'll get back to that and what I mean by that. I could be wrong, but I think the term AB is adult baby. Your family knows you wear a diaper. Jesus, Shinzo. I feel like we could stop right here, but we won't. Went into a party in a diaper. I kept trying to get some of your friends to speak up if they approved of your habits or not. Well, friends might be a strong word. Some of the people who associate with you on Discord, they were fine to say they didn't like you in call, but they got kinda too shy to give me an audio clip to say that you were not with them, so I'll leave it to Malabulgia, Agarius, and Instepius to accept or reject you in the comments section down below. Also, Pacifier. Shame that didn't keep you from posting on Twitter. You might not be in this mess. Also, has your diaper leaked in public? I suppose, cough cough. That could be you being cheeky. You know what, I'll just let the audience figure out whether you were goofing off or being serious here. Messed in your diaper, Shinzo. In the past, I've said I think people are way too open because I think they're putting out feelers to see if they can find anyone else that's into what you are, into what they are. But Shinzo, you already have a boyfriend. You have zero reason to do this to yourself. Also, mental age 3 or 4 wearing diapers? I understand that we live in a newfangled world of acceptance, love, and tolerance, but what tactical advantage did you get from putting this out there like you have? You claim to already have parties where you already meet up with people like this. Your furry YouTube channel isn't that much bigger than your Brony one. So you sold your dignity for 112 subscribers, and your biggest viewed video is 450. I have never seen someone sell so much for amazingly so little. Now notice something here. See that vortag? It says sometimes in art. I understand people have what's called online fantasies, or fantasies that either people can't act out due to the limitations of reality or the amount of harm that one would do to themselves or others around them if they were to do so. For you guys out there, would you believe that there's such a thing as drawn porn for castration? People are weird. But the thing is, it's pretty safe to say, when you talked about your diaper fetishes, those just weren't for roleplay fantasies, judging by this drawn note. This is noted, boys. I noticed earlier you said you were looking for cub servers. This is where I'm a bit confused. Are you or aren't you into kids? LioConvoy mentioned he tried talking to you about this, about some of the things on this for affinity. I don't believe he got a straight answer, but we'll get back to that. I noticed you had gore as a kink. I know a lot of people who like horror movies or horror comics. It's a valid platform for entertainment. I might even call horror, let's call it art. Let's be that pretentious. I just don't think you should have an erection while you're watching Saw. And keep in mind, when you got a list this big, you might want to cut back on a thing or two. Yes, I know it says drawn, and there are plenty of horror comics that shouldn't be used as hentai either. Then again, there's some hentais out there that shouldn't be hentai in that same vein. But, you know, YouTube being YouTube, I'm just gonna have to hold back on giving those examples. Shinzo, most people don't dive into the deep end of things, whether it be drugs, kinks, or any other hobby. People work their way up. I kinda suspect you're not the kind of person who had an upbringing that ever told you to cool it. Shinzo, it would be in your best interest if you learned to filter or constrain not only what comes out of your mouth, but I think that you could stand to learn some moderation. I think that you could stand to cool it with half the crap that I've seen here. If you don't like my 2 cents, hey, stop sharing it with the world. Also, going through your gallery, you mentioned you view yourself as low as 3 or 4 in your diaper. Is this child, infant, furry picture fetish art? Because it seems to be surrounded by that sort of thing. Though, considering all things, maybe you didn't think I'm noticing a pattern of that. Also, Shinzo, these seem to be babies again, in and among what some might consider your fan service littered favorites. I think there is about 7 to 9 pages of favorites, which include diapers, enough of them not clean, characters that are very young. Hey Shinzo, more advice. Don't pick fights with drama channels if you want to be this open. You might get the crap slapped out of you. Then again, maybe that's your thing. If you want to talk shit and be in a community that will protect you, maybe you should go to the commentary community. I'm told that they revere that sort of bullshit over there. And Shinzo, I pulled a lot of punches. Good night, everybody.